Welcome back to Subtle Asian Voices. I am Whitney, the host of today's live stream. For those of you who just tuned in, Subtle Asian Voices is an interactive platform for Asians and Asian Americans to share their experiences on a variety of topics, from personal development to professional development. Hit that subscribe and click on the bell so that you are notified of our next live stream. For those of you who have been with us for a while, thanks for the support. Comment down below on what experiences you would like to hear more about. All right, I am excited for today's episode. We have a wonderful guest here with us. Thank you for coming onto this platform. Would you like to introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yeah, my name is Lisa Liu, and today we're going to be talking about LGBT dating as an Asian American. So I myself identify as a lesbian. My pronouns are she, her. And I'm currently right now I'm in Sarasota, Florida, but I work in Fort Myers, Cape Coral area of Florida.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. So our topic of today is dating in the LGBTQIA plus community. Before we dive right in, since we are live, if you, the viewers, have any questions, please leave it in the chat. And remember to be respectful. We will get to the questions at the end. So before we jump into the dating part, let me just let us get to know about Lisa a little bit more. So I'm gonna start with a few personal questions. Are you out publicly or privately? And when were you comfortable enough to be out, just in general?
Okay, so I would say that I am publicly out. When was I in general comfortable? So like, I mean, I guess I was first comfortable, like my first like talking to somebody about it was like at the end of high school. I would say I was more comfortable being out in undergrad, and I mean, I think it was like a gradient. So undergrad I had a really supportive friends, and then through grad school it was like a still I was still coming out. Basically it's coming out. It's like a continuous thing. It's never just like I do it once and it's like done.
So you did mention that you came out like when you're in high school and then like in college, and you're still like it is a continuous process. So what were the responses around you when you first came out, to like maybe when you like recently came out to like your peers or your worker or
Oh, okay. So
coworkers?
like I think now with it being 2020, I think we've definitely come a long way in terms of talking about like the LGBT community. It's more accepted, so it's not a real fear factor for me. Definitely coming out to people in my workplace is more of a concern to me now because like it can affect me professionally. So that's the concern. If I'm just coming out to just people like just on the street or just casual friends, I don't really care. Like if they're gonna act poorly, I mean, I'm like, hey, you need to check yourself. This is 2020. You need to
Bye,
update yourself.
Felicia.
Yeah. Um, but I would say like in the earlier times, like, oh my gosh, I remember when I was in high school, it was such a the topic of being gay was so taboo.
I agree. I feel like definitely in the Asian community too, maybe it might have a different impact. So when you came out, what were your parents' reactions?
Okay, so I actually came out to my parents, I think 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. So it's still really fresh compared to like when I've been out since like in high school. um okay, so like how did my parents react? They're still in like the denial phase, I would say. Here and there. I think I talked to my mom more about it because I think my mom's more open to the concept. But she still hopes that there is a chance for me to marry a guy. Um, yeah, have like anytime I have this like relationship of like a really strong friendship with one of my guy friends, my mom like gets this really high hopes, like, oh my god, maybe maybe they're gonna be together. But I'm like, no, mom, like he's just my friend. So I have to like remind her on that. Um, what's funny about the whole concept of me being gay, um, like I am very confident about being sure of my own personal identity. And I'm trying to be vocal about it just to spread awareness. And my parents, my mom, when I told her like I would, yeah, I'm gonna like go on YouTube or whatever, do this like live stream, talk about my sexual orientation. So she's like, whoa, she was not okay with it. So here I am doing this live stream at my parents' house.
Ooh, I hope they're okay with it. I don't know. I don't think they'll find it,
No, I mean my mom's not home right now, so
Oh, okay.
I think it's just like
Perfect.
funny, but the whole occurrence.
Okay, so how old were you when you realized that you were attracted to women? Was it like an aha moment, or was it like kind of like gradual and then you kind of just like, oh, I think I feel something?
I would say probably 10th grade is really when I kind of started like having these sorts of questions. I didn't realize it. I actually came out to my friends in high school as bisexual because I wasn't really sure. Because I think growing up, we live in this sort of heteronormative society, and they're like, they just deem that you're straight when you're first born. Um, so that's why I kind of like said that I was bisexual, and also felt like there was some level of cushion to that title. Because I think still like the word lesbian or gay, I mean, thinking back to 2011, this was still, again, the words are still taboo. So it's like really harsh for me to say and identify with those words. Um, yeah.
But don't I do know that if you do identify as bisexual, you have different hurdles than identifying as like maybe gay or lesbian. Like, did you maybe experience like different type of hurdles back then when you identified as bisexual versus now when you identify as a
Um,
lesbian?
I, I don't think I identified as bisexual long enough for me to experience those hurdles.
Okay.
I think it was just me being part of the queer community that was um more of a hurdle. Like why? What were you thinking about?
Because I know, I do know that when you identify as bisexual, many people are like, oh, you're not like one of us. You can't like choose, you can't have best of both worlds. That's what
Oh,
I
you know,
heard.
I wasn't talking so much about me being bi,
Okay,
where people would be like, because I definitely know there is biphobia in the community, if that's what you're referring to.
I think
Um,
so.
yeah, because the unfortunate part of being bisexual is like you have the hetero community, they're like, okay, we'll pick one. And then same thing with like the gay community, like, okay, we'll pick one. And then that's the struggle with being with those people who identify as bi, like they don't have like a place and space for them to feel belonged. um Again, like for me personally, like I haven't had that sort of experience because I never identified as bi that long. I could speak more about being just like queer and just being gay and than the struggles of that.
Okay, so since we did talk about community and stuff, does being part of the Asian community and the LGBTQ community affect your identity, whether if it's core identity or just like in general?
I would say being having that intersectionality of being a woman, being a lesbian, and being Asian. So I have like those three identities. I would say like I identify more with being a lesbian more than I am Asian. Um, Interestingly, I really don't have a whole lot of Asian friends. Like I don't know what that says about me, but um, I guess like because I feel there's more of a minority aspect to being a lesbian, I feel like that a lot of people identify me as that more than they identify me as being Asian. Um, I think like being Asian is like even though like we are a minority, we're still considered like the model minority. So it's not really like a like I don't feel discriminated because of it. I would feel more discriminated and feel marginalized or what do you want to call it because I'm gay. And I think when people meet me, they're gonna remember that aspect of me. And I think most of like growing up and having my group of friends, I've always been like the token lesbian. So that's kind of, I think that's the main identity from who I am. And yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, rest assured, I'm not going to take you as my token lesbian. You're just my friend, Lisa. So, okay, so are there any stereotypes that you face?
Geez, stereotypes.
Just like either in like being that maybe like that intersectionality or just like maybe just being the LGBTQ community, like any stereotypes that like that are put upon you, whether if you like it or not, and then like anything
like I
that
can
like
talk about
affected
like
you?
lesbian stereotypes, you know.
Okay.
I think that's part of like the stereotypes that you would have to be considered a lesbian. So like this kind of like things that people would pick up upon, see if like things that they use with their gaydar to see if they're lesbian. One of them is like, okay, short nails. Like, yeah, I have short nails, but part of it's because like I weightlift, or I used to rather, and like I used to play violin, and you can't play violin, okay, if you have long nails.
Wait, I have short nails too, though. But
yeah,
that's
oh my god, you're a
piano.
lesbian.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But it's like, okay, you could be a pro violinist or you're a lesbian, or you could just be both. But anyways, no, I played violin. I was in when I was growing up. I weightlift, so you can't really have long nails. And so like, anyways, long nails. People would say wearing plaid. It's kind of like the lesbian look.
So like the fall look, the farmer's
yeah, like
fall,
the lumberjack
November
look, I guess people would say.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, we were talking about like me and my coworker, she is gay. I used to work with her, and like we would talk about just like some of the, it would just come up in conversation at work. Like people would like roll up their sleeves, okay? Like that's a sign of gay or lesbian, okay? Cuffed jeans is also a lesbian thing. Oh my god,
I think those are in style though. I feel like a lot of like
I know we've claimed it. I'm sorry, but we've claimed it. The lesbians have claimed it. My roommate, who is straight, my old roommate, when I was going through college, she was like, "Wait, I wear plaid. I don't understand." It's like, oh well, you know what? The lesbians have claimed it. So plaid. Oh, so like the newer thing now that I'm like on TikTok and like learning about. Oh, it's just like how Gen Z is just so much more progressive. I'm just like so excited for the future. But like girl in red, do you know what girl in red is?
No.
Okay, girl in red, it's like the thing, it's like a, from watching TikTok, it's like how their way of like asking if a girl is gay. It's like, oh, do you listen to Girl in Red? It's Girl in Red is a band, like they're like really indie, and so I'm not really like super into them. But Girl in Red is this girl, and she's she plays in a band or whatever, and her songs are targeted towards like I guess like queer women or women who like women, because her songs are about a relationship with a girl.
Wait, is this like a recent like band
like person, like artist?
Yeah.
I would say like 2020. I think like she started in 2019, but she's definitely become popular over 2020 because TikTok.
Okay.
Because of TikTok, and TikTok use has definitely risen during quarantine and now. So it's like a popular trend, I would say. So Girl in Red, like there's this thing where if you the eyebrow slit, I don't know if you heard about it.
The eyebrow?
Okay, so
like
an eyebrow
the
slit.
Cut?
Yeah. So like I know that's like trendy, but like that's like one of the things that lesbians have, I guess like the queer women. I keep saying lesbian, but I guess I should be more inclusive and say queer women. They've picked up on like that's like one of their style pieces is having a slit eyebrow. I actually had one before that actually became a trend, not realizing that it was like a gay thing. I thought it was just like an edgy thing. I was just an edgy thing.
Yeah, I think you were definitely a trendsetter. You started that trend.
Oh, I wish I could say that, but I'm not. But yeah, those are, I would say those are like the lesbian, like
Stereotypes.
stereotype look, like the physical look.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely more edgy, as you can kind of see. I can't really, like, I would love to have a slit eyebrow. I was actually talking to one of my coworkers about it, but I could not get away with it because of where I work. Like, I work in the healthcare profession, so like I can't get away with that.
Yeah, you gotta look more professional so like
Yeah,
the
that's the
people
thing.
could
So
trust
like
you.
it's, yeah, like I feel like the lesbians, like, oh yeah, and like nose piercings is also, I feel like it's part of like the alternative or indie look. I so like for me personally, like um I'm more straight passing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when I first met you, I would have never labeled you as like, oh, maybe you belong in the LGBTQ community. You're just Lisa. You're a great friend for sure. So
Well, thank you. I think, yeah, I think most people would probably think that. Granted, I think I would say some people don't like to assume also, but like for me, if you didn't know me and just like you were just to go based off photos or just my face actually, because clothes can also say, tell the story. But with me having like the not super boyish haircut, I I pass as straight. So okay, so like branching off that idea, okay, so like because I pass as straight, like at work, as I can't do all of that, the nose piercing and like eyebrow slit, and I'm wearing my professional clothing. Like I get hit on by people, and I'm just like, this is really annoying. This
wait,
is really annoying.
when you said you get hit on by people, like you mean like guys?
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I should. Yeah,
Okay.
I would. Oh my god, I wish I was hit on by women, but no. It's just these like older guys, and it's like really awkward and creepy, and it's really uncomfortable.
Oh no, that's ooh. So I do know that like in general, I'm like throwing this really big assumption out there, like this kind of stereotype. A lot of Caucasian males do sometimes they do have yellow fever and they do fetishize like Asian women. Like, do maybe you being an Asian and being a lesbian, is there like more fetishization happening? Is there any like because that you have those two
Wait, are you saying like
intersectionalities?
fetishizing from a male standpoint or from like a female standpoint?
Can be both, but from a male standpoint, I guess.
Okay. Well, let me answer the female one because I actually haven't really met anybody who's like fetishized Asians.
Okay.
Granted, I also want to say that um there's not a whole lot of queer Asian women that are out. So I don't think there's like a large number of us to have the opportunity to be fetishized. So I haven't had any females that I've gone on dates with that had any sort of Asian preference from what I've experienced. But yeah, no, I mean I've heard about guys that fetishize Asians, guys fetishizing Asian lesbians. That's that's a whole weird thing. I mean, I feel like they shouldn't be fetishizing us anyways, because like we are lesbian and we're not interested in men. So I don't. Okay, so like, this kind of like goes back to that your original question. Sorry, and I forgot to answer this, but you asked about like negative experiences about coming out. Okay. Granted, like I haven't had any serious ones recently, where it's like straight up like hate and homophobia. Granted, I do sometimes see people like I'll go to like anime conventions, like I'll be honest, and there will be a guy who's holding like a sign where it says, like being gay is a sin. So that's like the only thing I've really seen. But there was one time talking about fetishizing lesbians, okay, or just queer women. Um, Guys wouldn't believe it. Yes, okay. Yeah, so like being gay, okay, like being a lesbian, like guys do not see that as an obstacle. Um, and I want to thank Norman Chang for bringing that up in the chat. There was an incident where I was friends with this guy. He's like kind of southern. He like fixed cars and stuff. He's like big into cars. This was back in undergrad, so this is like kind of years ago. And he's like, "Whoa, dude! Like, I told my brother that like I'm friends with this lesbian," and he's like, "Whoa, are you gonna get that? are you, are you gonna get that?" And he's like, "No, dude, she's my friend." and I was like, and he made it sound like he was such a white knight. And I'm like, thank you so much for not hitting on me. Like, just thank you for being such a good person and just like being my friend and not making me this sort of piece of meat that you should be going after.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I don't understand. Like, does the word gay not like translate? It's just like woman. That's it. Like, woman who doesn't like men. Nope, just woman.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, no, like it's just I don't think I've had like traumatizing experiences, but I've definitely heard of other like lesbians or queer women that are like being harassed by men trying to change their mind. They're like, who hurt you? Like stuff like that. And it's like really demoralizing, and it's like, yeah, it's really insulting.
You gotta tell them you were born this way, just like how Lady Gaga said it, you know?
Yeah, well, men kind of have the audacity to do a lot of things, so.
I know, the audacity in general.
Yeah, ugh. I'm sure people are gonna watch this and be like, hashtag not all men. Ugh.
Oh, you can't say that. That's like the weak point. Oh my gosh.
Know.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's kind of go away from that. So let me give you. Okay, so how would you feel if I were to tell you that I have another lesbian friend and that I want to hook you up with her? Like, oh, you guys will be very well together. So like, how would that make you feel if I were to mention that or bring that or even bring that up to you?
I think one of my friends had said that to me. And I want to make a point that like just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm attracted to every gay person. It's like, oh, hey, I know this other straight person, like maybe you guys would go, or like just insert any sort of race or minority, and like, hey, I know this one person, maybe you guys would go well together. I think, yeah, so basically back to my point, like just because I'm gay doesn't mean like I'm gonna be attracted to every gay person. I think it depends on the intention of that person. If they're just trying to help me out, meet somebody new to date, I would be open to it. But I definitely want to make enough like to clarify that assumption that just because I'm gay doesn't mean that I'm attracted to every gay person.
I agree. So I am kind of guilty of that. I not not introducing a lesbian friend to another lesbian friend, but more like, oh, like, hey, I have this guy friend who's lonely and kind of single, and like, well, I have this friend who's a girl.
You're just trying to be a pal. You're just trying to be a pal.
But I do understand that like that's something that you can't just assume that they like each other, like in general, just like whether if it's in a heterosexual relationship or just like a different like a homosexual relationship. Like you can't just assume in general. Assuming is bad, especially in 2020. So yeah, definitely learned about that. Okay, so now that we're kind of getting into like the dating stuff. So what is your current relationship status and like what's your current dating situation right now?
Right now I am single and ready to mingle.
Okay.
Sounds like fun. My current, what'd you say?
Sounds like fun.
I mean, I've definitely gotten a lot of dates. I would say I'm more of an experienced lesbian.
What does that mean?
I'm just saying, like, I've been dating for a while. Okay, so like, there's this term that we like to throw around. I mean, it's just here and there, gayby, like a gay baby. You're just a baby in terms of the gay community because you've never like been with. I don't know. We just use it like I don't really know if it's. I don't think it means to be like a mean. in a negative connotation. But like I've been out for a while. Not so much with my parents, but I have a solid, like, I have a good, what's the word? I'm very familiar with my self-identity. Like I'm very comfortable with who I am. I am comfortable with telling people who I am. There's no self-doubt. There's no internalized homophobia there. So anyways, so to answer your question, I am an experienced. I've been on a lot of dates with various women, and so yes, I would say I'm an experienced.
Well, lesbian. I do get that you're very confident. Just like when I first met you, it's just like you exude a lot of confidence, and that's like something I wish to be. I feel like that's a very good trait in general, and like I don't know. When I grow up, I want to be like you for sure.
Hey, thank you so much. I mean, it takes time, takes a lot of reflection, but yeah, you'll get there. Right. The word I was looking for was a strong sense of self. Yes, that's the word.
new vocabulary in my dictionary.
Strong sense of self.
Okay, so do you think that you have any dating challenges that is different from a straight person?
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Sometimes I'll complain to my friends. I'll be like, imagine if I was straight. Like, I would be slaying it out there. Like, my friends are like, oh my God. But the challenges. I would say the big major challenge is the dating pool. It's definitely smaller. I have to use, for me personally, this is just me, and I'm not speaking on behalf of other lesbians here, but I find the benefit of using dating apps because it helps me find those people, those other women who aren't straight women. So like small dating pool is the one thing, and then two, it's identifying who is attracted to women. I think like I would find it really difficult personally to just go up to somebody and just hit on them and not know if they're straight or gay. I think definitely like in the older times, if you're a gay guy, I would hear horror stories of like getting beaten up, like these hate crimes for a gay man to flirt with another guy who might have happened to be straight. And so like if homophobia exists in that situation, that person could lash out and do anything to harm you. So having dating apps there for me has breaking away that first barrier. And that's a barrier that straight people don't have to deal with. Heterosexuals are the majority on this planet. And so they don't have to worry about if they're going to hit on somebody and worry that, they don't have to confirm that they're straight. Like most likely they're straight. So having dating apps is a benefit in that sense. I would say the third thing that is kind of challenging, because like I was in a rather, I don't know, my previous relationship, I was with this girl who didn't feel comfortable to bring me around and meet her friends. And so because like one of her coworkers or her friends had said something homophobic, and like I couldn't really hang out with her or with her friends because I was always invite her to my friends and meet my friends, but she would never invite me out with her to meet her friends. So it kind of made me feel like I was this sort of secret that she had to hide because she was ashamed. And it kind of hurts in a way because it like echoes this theme of being ashamed, which is like literally the theme of being gay, is like throughout this entire time, like the society tells you that you should be ashamed of who you are. And for me, like I've had to take a long time to come to that point and be okay with who I am. and love myself and being proud of who I am. And some people don't get that. So in that situation, I feel like a straight person wouldn't have to worry about that. Or I guess if she was with somebody who was of the opposite sex, or anybody being an opposite sex, they don't have to worry about what other people are going to think about them if they were to bring somebody of the same sex to meet their other friends. Granted, those factors are kind of like out of my control, as with many other things. So that's kind of the unfortunate aspect to it. But yeah, those are some of the challenges I would say. So just like smaller dating pool, like trying to figure out if they're gay or straight, and just like they don't have to worry about like what other people
keeping
think.
it a secret or something.
Yeah, keeping it a secret, because I felt like I had to be kept a secret.
Okay, so really early on in the question, when you're answering the question, you're like, oh, like straight people don't really have the challenge of dating on dating apps. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I do have problems. I had problems when I was on dating apps.
What challenges do you have? Like what? Like I feel like it would be so easy.
Okay, well, technically, from my experience, from what I've learned, timing is very important. And it doesn't matter if you're attracted to that person and that person's attracted to you. Like if you guys are on a different life stage, or if you guys are just like not at the right mindset, timing, like
timing is I would say that's a challenge for both regardless of what sexual orientation you are. Just like life happens, like timing, like I could be going through school or going through a family crisis. I'm not ready for a relationship, but that goes with anybody regardless of sexual orientation.
But I just want to let you know that, like, I feel like as like a straight person, like on dating apps, like we don't have as much challenges as you guys, but we still have challenges. It's still like,
okay, so tell me
tell you
make me feel better about myself.
It's hard to, how do I say it? It's hard to like, other than timing that you guys also have, I feel like, dang, you put me on the spot. Let's be real. Okay.
Self-reflection here.
Self-reflection for sure. I don't know. I just feel like
I feel like the challenges that you have to deal with is just, I mean, it's gonna make me sound like I hate men, but like I just don't have. I mean, like I kind of sort of do in a way because I'm just a lesbian in general, so I just don't like men. But I always hear my female friends complain about like being sexually harassed by men, unsolicited like pictures, and just like guys can be really mean. But I mean girls can be too. So I hear poor communication. I feel like girls are pretty good. Though. What?
I think poor communication, I think it's everyone.
I don't know. I'm a pretty good communicator, I think.
Okay, so I think communicating is a person-to-person thing then. I wouldn't say
that's true. That's more interpersonal. It's a one-to-one person, not really like a general person. Yeah, general thing.
Okay, so I guess my struggles aren't that bad. Oh my god, I have never gotten a dick pic. So
Bill, be grateful. You've never been harassed by men that way.
That is true. I am grateful. Okay, so we're like, let me move past the challenges part. So you did mention that you meet people through dating apps and stuff. Do you know what platforms do you usually use?
It's funny because like I'm actually gonna make a YouTube video about this. So whoever's watching, just keep your eyes out. But to quickly and briefly answer that question, the dating apps that I've used, and I use a variety, and that I do cover in this upcoming video. I use Tinder. I use Bumble. Not really. And I like to use Hinge, and I use this other app named Her, which is targeted more towards queer women. I personally like to use Tinder because just so many people use it, and unfortunately, a dating game is a numbers game. It's just how we are in the digital world with dating now. I mean, there's dating gurus out there that they'll always try to, oh, like, you gotta do this and like all the girls will fall in love with you. Okay, so yes, there are strategies to dating apps.
So out of them, which one do you find like the most success from, and which one do you not recommend?
I do not recommend Bumble, okay? And I say this very bluntly in my video.
Oh my gosh.
Like, okay, so like Bumble is great if you're a straight woman. Bumble's not great if you're a gay woman. So for people who are watching and aren't familiar with how Bumble works in that if you match with somebody, a guy and a girl matches. This is how it's normally done, okay? A guy and a girl matches. The girl has 24 hours to respond to the guy to unlock this conversation. If she does not respond in 24 hours, that conversation is gone. You cannot revive it unless you pay money to Bumble so you can get premium subscription. And
I can verify.
Yeah. You can verify.
Yeah.
In a situation where it's two women, okay, they both have the opportunity to
match.
They match. They both have the opportunity to send a message to each other. Okay, we're in a situation with the guy and a girl. The guy cannot send a message until the girl does. Okay, in this situation, girl and girl, each one can send a message, but they both have to send a message in the 24-hour period. Okay, how is this a problem? Well, sometimes I'm like busy working, or maybe that other person's busy working, and they just don't get back to us. It relies two people to unlock this conversation. There's just too many barriers, and time. People don't have that. I don't like the time constraint because people are busy. I might be trying to think up of a good pickup line, okay? Like, I need more than 24 hours.
Oh my gosh.
That's usually not me, though. Like, I usually am. No, I take that back. I'm not. I've definitely been in a situation where, like, like normal, like 21st century problems. Like, oh, I forgot my phone. I forgot to check my messages, kind of thing. And the whole time frame is a problem. I got in the chat, is her as good as Grindr? Okay, so let me address that. Okay, because like I think everybody knows what Grindr is. Everybody knows what Grindr is because it's like such a talked about thing. And granted, like the gay community is more of a presence than the lesbian community. Okay, like the LGBT community, you know, we have all those 4 letters and plus more. But the gay community dominates the representation of the queer community. So we hear about Grindr. Grindr is known to be very much hookup culture. I'm sure lots of dick pics. And it's just like guys trying to hook up, and that's pretty much it. I don't know if you can find much of a like lifetime relationship on that, but hey, there's always possibilities. Her, I don't think her is as prominently used as what Grindr is. I don't like, we don't talk about her. Like, I feel like, granted, like I'm not like part of a big like lesbian group of friends, but her is kind of developing. I think it's in a really good spot right now because like I remember using it before and it was just really janky. It's just so many glitchy problems to the app itself. But I love that it creates such a community for queer women. Like, it includes just like, because there is a spectrum of queer women out there. And what's great is like I'll get emails about like, oh, they're having a live session where they talk about safe sex or fertility, I guess, if they wanted to have a baby and a family between 2 queer women. But I love that they're trying to provide as much support and resources for women in this community.
Okay. So we were talking about pickup lines. What is the best and worst pickup line that you have received? And how would you like to be approached, just like in general, by like other girls on dating apps or just in person?
Okay, to be honest, like, okay.
A lot of stories, a lot of like...
Well, no, not really. It's sadly, I'm usually the one who
sends a pickup line.
I'm usually the one who initiates things. Like, I wish other girls would initiate stuff, but I'm like 90% of the times that I've encountered a woman or made advances. Like, it's just me. I think there's a lot of what?
Or let me rephrase the question then. What is your best pickup line?
Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god.
You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me.
Oh my god. Okay, I have to like look through my phone because I actually like save them because like they work.
Oh wait, so you have like a pickup line that like, okay, what percentage would you say it worked? Like maybe like every time you say it, like do people actually respond? Do girls actually respond with that pickup line?
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, most of the time.
Oh, well, you gotta like let our viewers know then that like 100% pick up that.
Okay, here's my pickup line. Okay, everybody start taking notes. Okay, we're in class. Class is in session. Okay, the pickup line that I use is, "Oh my god, we matched. I'm gonna start planning our honeymoon. Bali or Fiji?"
Okay, not gonna lie, I would totally. Okay. The first part I'm a little scared because then you're thinking about a honeymoon, but the second part, like, bro, we're traveling.
Okay, Brian's hating. Yeah. Brian is hating.
Is he really?
He's like, I don't like that one. Okay, well, Brian, guess what? You're not my target audience. You're a man.
True. So if someone
girls want to be taken out to Bali or Fiji, not you, apparently.
Damn, just call them out. But okay, so if someone matched with you and they told you that pickup line, how would you respond? Would you like that?
I think I'd be like, I'd be excited that a girl didn't say just hi to me. Because like most of the girls that like hit me up are like, hi, hey, what's up? How you doing? It like,
so you want something different.
Girl, oh my god, like if I would do like a video on like 101s on how to like set up a dating app, like this is like a not to do. Don't say hi, okay? Like as much as people would like to say like, oh, let's like just shoot your shot or whatever, like please come up with something more creative.
I agree.
Like Brian, if you were a booger, I'd pick you.
Okay.
Yeah, see, like now you're like, nope, no. Brian's in the wrong.
Brian doesn't want to be a booger, that's why. So from my experience on dating apps, I do agree. I feel like you can't just say hi, hello, hey, what's up? You gotta like, from my success stories, like 100%, just roast them. Roast their picture, roast their bio. They're definitely gonna answer because they're gonna be like defending themselves. But I guess this is for dudes.
Maybe they have fragile egos.
Damn. But yeah, I feel like definitely like when I roast them, they definitely answer me back, and then
okay, I'd say like if I was receiving end of that, I'd be like, okay, this girl like really doesn't like me. She's really mean.
Really? No, but like but you guys match though, and it's like I feel like it's a good.
That's true. Like you're coming from a place of just teasing. No, I agree.
Some dudes like it, so
they are masochists.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so once you so in general, what do you think? Who usually pays on a first date? If you and someone you just matched maybe on a dating app and you guys are gonna go grab dinner, like who pays on a first date, and how do interactions occur outside of dating apps? Like how would anything like old school, kind of like romantic?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think Brian actually asked this in the group chat earlier. Who pays on the first date? So I think gosh, there's not really a concrete answer to this. Some people would argue that whoever asks for the date should pay. I don't know if I would agree with that. Most of the time, personally, I have paid. I think it's because I think there's only a few people like, yeah, like I've paid for most of the time. I don't know. I guess it's because like I'm more of an assertive personality, and maybe it could be that. So I usually pay. And believe me, like paying for dates, going on so many dates is kind of a money sink. But who pays for dates? So that's, I think, sorry.
Mainly you.
In relation to like straight relationships, I want to make a comment about this. I think in heterosexual like norms, it's usually like they say that the guys usually should be paying. Between two girls, I think that the heteronormative like assumption, it's like, oh yeah, the person who's like more of a dude who wears the pants in the relationship should be paying. But I feel like as queer women, I think we're like progressive in a way that like we don't conform to those sort of norms. Gender roles isn't really a good thing. Um, Granted, I still kind of like assume the more masculine roles because of just my personality. So that's why that's part of the reason like why I usually end up paying. Let's see. How do interactions occur outside of dating apps? I think it's pretty much the same like any other straight relationship. We go have dinner, like we'll go for a walk, maybe get some ice cream.
So do you like, do you guys go there? Do you like maybe pull out the chair for them when they sit down, or they pull out the chair for you? Any like
Whoa, that's
gestures?
like some chivalry, like back in the day kind of stuff. Do people still do straight people do that? Do guys do that?
Um,
Like I know how to pull out a chair, okay, but like I don't need somebody to do that for me.
okay, so I do know some. Okay, from what I've heard, I do have some
I
friends
want to
who like
clarify,
some
I've
guys
never been on a date with a
open.
guy. I've never been on a date with a guy, so I have no idea what it's like.
Okay, well, I have a friend. I have a friend. Her and her boyfriend before they started while they were dating before they were official. Like he opened the door for her to get
Was that
in
like
his
his first
car.
girlfriend or something?
No, that's not. That's
Okay,
not.
I don't know.
They're
That's just so
oh
weird for
my
me.
gosh. I feel like bringing back like the old school like dating like those kind of gestures is actually really nice instead of just like just kind of like we're always on our phone. So if you bring it back, I think it's kind of romantic. Would you agree?
I don't know.
Oh,
Like,
girl,
I think
it's a
it.
yes or no question, and you said I don't
Okay,
know.
no, I guess no, it's not romantic. I'd be like, does this guy not think that I can handle myself? Like, I don't know. Like, I just,
Wait, so in your case, it wouldn't be a guy. What if the girl opened the door for you, or pull out the
I'm
chair
like,
for
oh, thank
you?
you. And that'd be it.
You wouldn't think it's romantic? Like, wow, like, ooh, like this girl's getting a second date kind of thing. No?
No, I guess not. I don't know. See, like, what I find, like, this is kind of going off topic, but like, what I find attractive is a girl who has in like level of an intellect, somebody who can hold a conversation. I'd rather them hold a conversation than hold a door.
Okay, so you like their brain more than their gestures.
I like some other stuff too, but we'll stay there.
Okay, so on to the next question. Were there any hurdles that you have had to go through dating in the Asian/LGBTQ community?
I would say like my parents would be a hurdle.
Like bringing your date home? Is that like
I've
the
actually,
hurdle?
well, like what's funny is like because I've only been out for them. I've only been out to them for 2 years
Two
now.
years? Mm-hmm.
They're okay. So like I was in a serious relationship. Like I've only been in one serious relationship. Um, and she came to visit me. But what's great about being gay is that like, hey, yeah, this is my friend, and they would be like treating her like a friend, like of mine. They're like, oh yeah, and they would make dinner, or no, they would make lunch, and she invite her down, like not invite her, but like she was making lunch, and like she basically had her have lunch with us. It wasn't anything abnormal, so like, it was really easy for me to hide. I guess like that is the one, I would say the one advantage, but granted, it's like we're hiding still, because like I would hear stories about like, oh yeah, like I was at my friend's place, my girlfriend's place, having a sleepover, and like my parents were like, oh yeah, you're going to your friend's place, and so like you can get away with that. But if you're going to have a sleepover with a guy friend, you're like most parents would question the heck out of that.
I agree. I agree. Very much
Yeah,
agree.
but like the hurdle I'd say is just like now that I'm out to my parents, me being Asian and my Asian background, being Chinese, like my parents are very conservative. I mean, I don't know, like very is like, I mean, the way they said very, but like they still have a lot of conservative ideologies coming from mainland China, thinking that homosexuality is not normal. So they're still struggling to accept the whole concept. So my strategy is just to keep bringing it up. Right now, I'm not in a serious relationship right now, but I think when that happens, they'll realize that it's not really any difference. Hopefully, one of my fears is like when I do have a wedding and when I do get married, they're not gonna show up or anything like that, and that would be really hurtful. I think I'm emotionally ready for that if that does happen, but I hope in like me crafting and building my relationship between my parents, they will open their eyes and become more understanding of hey, this is my daughter, we still love her, and this other person that she's in love with, they can now be part of our family too.
Wow, that was very deep. I'll go to your wedding though, but
yeah?
I feel like
okay.
I will. I feel like as Asian parents, like from my experience as Asian parents, they get older, they do open up to a lot more things. So I think they'll go to your wedding. I think they will.
I hope. I'm still like not out to the rest of my family. Like my grandma doesn't know. I mean, grandma, I don't think she really needs to know. I think she still asks me, like, hey, you got a boyfriend? My other sides of the family, I'm not really like super in touch with them, but I don't really disclose that part of my life to them. They just know that I work.
I mean, you just, as of now, before they, I guess like, I do agree with like the continuously bringing it up strategy, because then like it makes it a norm. Like it's normal.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
still like you're still you're still working. You're like independent, confident woman right there.
Yeah.
Like nothing's gonna change.
Oh yeah, yeah, and you know, I agree. Like, I think I've done everything I could to be the best daughter. You know, like I don't know how your parents are like, but I feel like most Asian parents are like, oh yeah, I want my kids to be successful and I want them to be proud. And Asian Americans have this like ideology of what success is. Like, oh yeah, get a good job, be a doctor, or whatever, and like make good money. You know. Wait, I forget. Are you Chinese? I forget.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so yeah, okay. And I think I've done that like as best as I could. And just that piece is me being who I am. Like I don't know if you ever struggle with this, and I feel like a lot of other Asian Americans might, being like a first generation, we kind of like go into this path and doing what their parents want them to do because you want to make them proud. Like, oh, you should be a doctor. So like this person, like I hear stories where like people pursue a career because their parents had forced them to. Fortunately, like for me, like I enjoy what I do. And I'm glad that my parents are proud of me for being for you know, going through all that schooling and getting the job that I have. And in the back of my mind, I was
too.
actually, huh?
I would be proud too.
Oh, thank you. I think in the back of my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, shit. Like because I have friends who are from China too, and like I was thinking like maybe I should just like marry a man just to make them happy and like never have to talk to him again. And like I just like, and this is like through the years of me trying to like figure out like myself, and I feel like that's one piece that I couldn't give, you know, to my parents. Like I wanted to be true to myself. I don't think I would be happy faking that part of my life. So that was hard to come to terms with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I would be afraid if my dad was like, oh, what did I do wrong in raising you, kind of thing. But yeah, those sorts of like thoughts.
I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. I do agree. I feel like this is for you. Do it for you. And I feel like whatever happens in the bedroom stays in the bedroom. No one needs to know about it. So
yeah, but like my relationship, if I'm married and Oh wait, by the way, my parents like don't like I like using the word wife, you know, like hey, like my future wife. And it's like really like oh, it like warms my heart thinking about that future person. But my parents don't like hearing my mom, because I talk to my mom mostly about this. She doesn't like me hearing me using the word wife. She prefers me to use the word spouse. And that's kind of like a level of denial that she's in.
I feel like she'll warm up to it. So,
Yeah, it's
okay.
just time, but that's definitely like one of the struggles.
So, how is the dating scene right now during
Oh, good
COVID-19?
question. Good question. I'd say it's like really difficult right now. Considering that I'm an essential worker, I try to keep that in mind, and do my duty as to try to get out, like not have so many interactions. So like it's not really a big priority of mine because of that factor. I don't want to spread the disease because I am, I guess, like an essential worker. Um, COVID-19, let's see, dating is really challenging. Like I'm still using dating apps. I like my strategy in a non-COVID environment is to go on dating apps and get off the dating app as soon as possible, because like my personality does not translate well over text. And sometimes I'm at work and I'm like really like I'm kind of bad at texting. Not really, but like it's just like my personality isn't best. Like you're not seeing the best of me. So I try to get like the talking from the talking on the phone to in person. And the challenge there is that where am I going to go? um, Restaurant has definitely been a thing. Like I went over to this girl's place one time to her apartment, and that was I feel like I was actually telling her this, like if it was a guy and a girl situation, like I don't think a girl would be comfortable enough to invite some first time guy she's never met, to her place. Um I would be weirded out if I just invited some stranger to my house who was a guy. But I think being a woman, I think we have this sort of like sense that we're like less threatening, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So I went over her house. There is this one date I really want to try is like having a picnic in the park. I haven't found anybody worthy enough to do that, but like I really want to try that because I think having a picnic is like really romantic and it's like very COVID friendly because you don't have to be around so many people.
I do agree. I feel like that's a really good dating idea. So I feel
Yeah,
like
so if you want to
that's
try it
gonna
out,
work.
do it. Let me know.
I already tried it out and it's perfect. I liked it. So let's like wrap this up a little bit. So kind of like the last question of this live stream before maybe we could look at some chat
Do we want?
questions.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So what would you tell the high school you, the you that just came out?
Gosh, like during 2020 or 2019 or like sorry 2011.
When you first came out, you know how like I'm pretty sure you've had doubts, you were scared and you didn't know what to do and you don't know how
Mm-hmm.
people were going to react. So like the you right now, the you 2020 of today's date, all the knowledge that you have right now, what would you tell the past you?
That came out in 2011.
Yeah.
Okay, because like there's different because like right now it's like so much easier to come out. Um, I would say that thank God that this country has made its positive changes forward. And I have to pay respect to all of our activists who have fought for our rights and our voices to be heard in the history books. Because we, not just like queer, just women, the different races and being queer, like we all didn't get here in just one day. We had to fight through history to be heard and be part of society and be normalized. So I would say to myself, if I was coming out, hey, it's going to be a challenge to understand. It's going to take time for you to understand who you are and give yourself time to and appreciate who you are. It's going to be okay. People are going to say nasty things to you. You're going to feel like you don't belong in this world. you're gonna feel like you don't belong in this world. But you're gonna find really great people that will support you in your journey to finding your sense of self, and where you will get to a point where you will love yourself and hopefully be another voice for future queer women or queer people who will also have struggles in their future.
I feel like that's a really good advice. Definitely the future is going to be better.
Yeah, I think everybody, and like that's probably the reason why I'm putting myself out there and out here on this live channel, is that there's not a whole lot of representation, and I want to be a voice to help fight for more representation and acceptance of people like us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so do you want to check out the chat questions to see any of them that you would like to answer? You could just...
Yeah. Let's see here. Norman asked, what kind of person do you look for?
Very important.
Yeah, okay. Gosh, this is like putting me on the spot. Not really, but like I'm putting it out there on live chat. What kind of person do I look for? I would say it's somebody who is independent. I actually posted on my bio that like I'm looking for my Portia to my Ellen DeGeneres. Granted, Ellen's not really having a good represent or good stuff going on with her right now.
Yeah.
But I would love to have like a power couple. I would say like I'm a very hard worker. I take pride in my work ethics. So I would hope to find somebody who shares the same values as me, who wants to, who works hard. Somebody who is ambitious and can bring out the best of each other. Yeah. I want to know who pays for. Okay, so we answered that. Is there a specific app that you use? Okay, so I answered that. Is there any tips to identify who you are? I'm not sure what that means. Like,
I think let's just skip over that one.
Okay. Are there any some tips to help self-love? Have some good friends that will tell you good things about you when you feel like you hate yourself. And probably therapy, because that has helped me. Did you try to hit on a straight... Oh, this is a good question. I like this question. Did you ever try to hit on a straight girl and receive some kind of pushback? Oh my gosh, this is a good question. There was this girl that I hit on. This is like some gay, like some amateur mistakes, okay? And like one of the amateur mistakes as like queer women is like don't fall for the straight girl, because you're just wasting your time, you're wasting your emotional energy, and you're just gonna be heartbroken. So pro tips for any queer people watching. There was a girl that she used to work for this boba shop place in Gainesville. She doesn't work there anymore. And it used to be called, I forget what it was called. It's called Tea Story now, but like they went through a rebranding.
Sponsor us. It's called Lollicup.
Yes, thank you. Oh my God. See, this is how long ago, this is how old it was, and this is how old I am, and how long I haven't been in Gainesville. But I like made this pie, like this, like, I think it was like cookies and cream, like Oreo pie, and I made it for her, and I was really awkward. I was like, how do I ask her? Just like me lingering around. But I did end up asking her, I think, from what I remember, and she was just like, oh yeah, no, sorry. I don't go that way. But I think at the time I was trying to read into the signs, like, because you know when you're attracted to somebody, you want to see what you want to see. And you don't really like read into the red flags, but
that is true.
Yeah, I was disappointed. Luckily she wasn't like, oh, what? Like, you think I'm gay? Like, no, it wasn't anything like that. It was just like me being an idiot. Challenges on dating apps. Fish pics? I'm not sure. Challenges might be unique to heterosexual dating, maybe around...
I think that's a statement. I think we did cover that. And dang, they're just talking about us. Okay.
Is it because guys tend to be more open to revealing themselves versus women?
I
Or
don't remember what that
I think we're talking
comments
about
were.
communication and how some guys are just not very good at communicating.
I feel like it's a person to person thing, so I wouldn't
Mm.
term it
Pin it
under
to a
like,
general
yeah.
population. I'm completely
Okay, so
misinformed here, but I would have guessed it's more difficult for guys on average to come out versus women just because of ego and revealing emotions. Oh, you're saying like gay guys having more difficulties to come out? I don't know. I think it depends on the situation. Like there's a multitude of factors on feeling comfortable to come out. I would say like because our sessions about Asian American and LGBT dating, I think being part of the being part of the Asian community is really difficult because we stem from a background of conservative ideologies. And I would think that having that piece makes it difficult for anybody, for anybody who wants to discover their sexual orientation, because it's just heavily frowned upon in general. Like anybody in that goes to say for people who come from a heavy religious background also, that shame and frown upon homosexuality. So I think there are definitely potentials for other people, other Asian Americans that maybe are thinking about the like, because sexuality is a spectrum, thinking about experimenting or trying to discover what they want, but it's this culture and this expectation that we have to meet, that's hindering us from being our true selves.
I agree. I think that's about it. So thank you, Lisa, for your time and for sharing your
Yeah.
experiences with us. Would you like to plug any social media for the audience or a possible dating interest to contact you?
Let's see here. I do have an Instagram, and I do have Twitch, and I'm having a upcoming YouTube channel, hopefully. But for my Instagram, my handle is Faceless Sphinx. It's one word, Faceless Sphinx. And same with my Twitch channel. That's what I use as my gamer tag. So that's what I've incorporated in my Instagram and my Twitch. And then my YouTube channel will be, it's going to be Lisa Liu. So we'll be posting the handles and all the URLs in the description of the video.
Okay, so if you want to just hit this girl up, if you want to be taken out on a first date, she definitely will be paying. Hit her up. We're definitely gonna put the handles down in the description below. Thank you once again, Lisa, and thank you to the viewers of Subtle Asian Voices. Go follow us on our social media and let us know if you would like more content about this below. We read and comment back on all of the comments, and please like and subscribe for more content on Asian experiences every Saturday. Bye.
Bye.